Hello everyone, I'm Aaron Dehart. I am a local mortgage banker, loan officer here in Reno, Nevada with Summit Funding. Today I want to talk about a very important issue when it comes to the loan approval process, and that is credit. Credit's one of the major four factors that we're going to look at when we're going to approve someone for a loan. And a lot of times it can be a hiccup and also a major hurdle for borrowers. So I wanted to bring in today not only someone who's a great business referral partner to myself that I do quite a lot of business with. He's a fantastic realtor, but he's also one of my clients. I've done loans for this gentleman before too, and he's actually had to go through some of the credit repair process. And so I wanted to bring Ron in today to discuss that and just give some examples out there to the public on exactly some things you can do to help straighten your credit out to get ready to get into that position to purchase a home. Ron, please come on in.
Oh, thanks, Aaron.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Good. I'm doing
Good
great.
to see you.
Great to see you. So, Ron, if you don't mind sharing, we had to do some things with your credit. You had some older stuff on there that we had to get removed, some duplicate items, some things that we had to dispute. We had to do some letters of deletions, things of that nature, and I kind of wanted to share with the general public out there how we went about doing that. What were some of the hurdles we had to face, timelines, things of that nature. And I think it's just best to have a perfect real life example, if you don't mind sharing that with us on how we did that.
Yeah, and I want to thank you for your help.
My
And
pleasure.
Aaron did do a number of things that he talked about as much as he could do on his end. But let me tell you, as a consumer, and I'm a realtor with Coldwell Banker here in Reno as well, so I see it on both ends. I have clients with dings, I have dings, et cetera, et cetera. I didn't think that I would ever be sitting here in front of a camera posting on YouTube about how I had bad credit and how I had to repair it. I had perfect credit ever since I was 18 years old, but this recession hit us quite hard. Our market went down 70% correction. My own house in Arrow Creek went down $1 million. I had no choice but to go ahead and do a deed in lieu, as well as my place in Squaw Valley went down $1 million as well. So we did have some issues. So just to cut right to the chase, what you want to do is you go to annualcreditreport.com. I'm going to repeat that because it's very important. Annualcreditreport.com. Make sure, and this is true with anything to do with putting your Social Security in there, make sure you read that URL up above there and you're on the official site, because there's spammers, there's fishers, whatever they call it, phishing with a P. There's all these people that might even try to mask and clone that site. So what you're going to do is once a year you're entitled to 3 bureaus for free. So you're going to be on that site and you're going to go from one credit bureau to the other. Allow yourself at least an hour to do this, because the site will time itself out, and sometimes it's hard getting back on to the site, has been my experience. So just bang all 3 sites out on the same day. You're going to look at your report, and luckily all the negative items are pretty much right there in the beginning. And then you're going to go to a column that says dispute this report. Okay. Now, Credit Repairing 101 has always told me is not to make a statement. Is that pretty much your assumption? Because when you make a statement, you kind of cement it in, right? It's almost like saying.
I think so.
I think so too. Yeah, that's a general consensus.
Go into things without it.
Yeah. So really, all I did, and from the research I did, I either put this is not my account or I was never late. Okay. So by the way, we're talking about a wink here in a hypothetical situation, right? Okay, we're not sitting here telling everybody to lie here, okay? How it is done, I should say, is many people do it this way. They go, not my account in the case of a collection, all right? And then if it's a mortgage or something like that, car loan, and you were late, you just go, I was never late. Those seem to be the best 2 choices. Then what's going to happen by law, that creditor has 30 days to verify it. So what you're betting on is that it slips through the cracks, okay? Now, from my experience, typically the first time you dispute it, you're going to get about a third, if not a half of them off. You're going to do pretty good the first time around. And then the second, and then within 30 days, or a little after 30 days, you're going to hear back and you'll get a letter saying what they repaired and what they didn't repair. And then what they didn't repair, I simply went back in and disputed again. Okay, now, the second and third time you go to dispute these things, you may get a letter that says, hey, we're not going to dispute it anymore, okay? Then I'll typically wait another month or two and then dispute it again. Now, be careful though if you do too many of not mine, not mine, not mine, because you may issue what's called the fraud alert, which can be an issue with you guys, of course.
Absolutely.
So you have to watch how many ones you say not mine. So just kind of mix it up. Go heavily on the I was never late, not mine. You wade from 3 bureaus to another. Now, there's going to be some that are just stuck on there like glue. Okay. I have a second trust deed deficiency judgment on my house again in Arrow Creek. It was, geez, with everything, I think now late payments and attorney fees, it's up to about $160,000. I've got that negotiated down to $3,000. I think I mentioned earlier I have that collection still on there.
Right.
Now, Nevada, we've got 6 years for them to collect, okay? Now, I'm not sitting there telling everybody how to be a weasel, because certainly if I had the money at the time, I would just write them a check. I didn't ever plan on defaulting on this. But I've got them down to $3,000. I may just pay it off. But if I pay it off, I'm going to pay them off on one condition. And guess what that condition is? Think about it.
They got to agree to delete that thing.
Smart guy here. All right. So that's my standoff. Right now they'll take $3,000, but they're going to leave it on their credit report. I'm saying I'll give you $3,000, but I want it deleted as if it never happened. Not paid, not nothing. I want it completely off. They're going to tell you they can't do it and this and that. You just keep working your way from supervisor to supervisor.
And here's something I want to point out. When a debt is sold to a collection company, it is typically sold to that collection company for pennies on the dollar, 35 cents on the dollar for the amount that's owed. So when a collection company is collecting the full amount of that original note that was owed, plus whatever fees or whatever, they had a pretty good day on that. You'll find most collection companies, if you're polite and cooperative with them, they are willing to work with you and settle that debt for pennies on the dollar. The big thing is you want to get them to agree to send you what's called a letter of deletion in order to remove that from your credit report. That's a big plus in the fact of doing credit repair with that, and that's something we definitely look at on our end when you're going for the loan approval process. So Ron, anything else you wanted to add in regards to that?
So in regards to the creditors, well, number one is you can tell them to put you on the do not call list, okay? So you can tell the creditor, and sometimes they'll go, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that, and go, I want to talk to supervisor. And then at that point, they'll give you a fax number or sometimes an email address, and you'll email or fax them saying, please do not call me anymore, okay? So that'll stop your phone from ringing. The important thing is, too, is a lot of times these collections, this is true whether it's a second trustee, a second mortgage, or, for example, just maybe a student loan or whatever, right? And maybe you didn't pay a household finance.
Sure.
It may go from collection company to collection company. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding it's a federal law that can only have one collection at a time. So let's say, for example, that's gone from A, B, C, 3 different collection companies, A, B, and C collection companies. You're only supposed to have C collection company showing on your report, and if A, B were no longer the collection companies, but for that same debt, A and B have to fall off, and you can dispute that and get it taken off, correct?
That's a lot of times.
That's a federal law.
That's what we're going to call a duplicate item.
Correct.
So a duplicate items are one of the things that show up a lot of times on credit reports that you want to get removed. So absolutely.
Is that a federal law or is that a Fico thing?
Ron, that I do not know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a federal law because I have researched this, but I had to go back in and say, no, this is a duplicate item. So I had to go into the credit report and go, look, this is the same bill, but I've got 3 or 4 different collections. Please get rid of those other ones and only leave C on there. Ideally, take them all off.
Right, absolutely.
So that would be the only other thing I want to add. So pretty straightforward.
Perfect. If you have any questions, more than willing to talk with you about credit issues. We do free credit reports for our clients, and something we'd be happy to review with you, educate you on if you have any questions on it. Again, my name's Aaron Dehart. I'm with Summit Funding. Feel free to give me a call at 824-3640, area code 775. And Ron, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, I'm with Coldwell Banker, RonBellRealtor.com. You can just Google Ron Bell Reno. My phone number is 775-750-5256. And I will say both Aaron and I were pretty adamant about returning calls and emails. So we're very approachable folks. We're local guys. We'll take care of you hand in hand. In fact, frankly, that's one of the reasons we work together.
Absolutely. And if you haven't already checked it out, please check out our video also on the new FHA Back to Work program. Kind of coincides with credit, but basically If you have suffered from a deed in lieu of foreclosure, short sale, foreclosure, or bankruptcy in the last 12 months, and you've had a 20% reduction in household income due to economic events that have happened in our country the past few years, you may be eligible for this new program where you can obtain a new FHA loan just 12 months after going through one of those events. So check out that video as well too, and feel free to give us a call. Thanks everybody, make it a great day.
Hey, I'm gonna tiptoe out here. Nice seeing you, Aaron.
Thank you, you too.
Okay, thanks, buddy.